Tom Trbojevic!
Get ready for a Tommy Turbo Masterclass. Tameless Tuesday is here. And the boys are hard as a rock. Don't be a weak-gutted dog. Leave that for Jamin Salmon. Get ready for the best Supercoach show on the planet. It's so good, it's better than Lego. You're now listening to the Supercoach Experience Podcast. Here's your host, Brandon Savage.
Hello and welcome back to the Supercoach Experience Podcast. I'm your host, Brandon Savage, the coach of the Jamin Salmons. Carnage has hit the Supercoach world and we are here to dissect it today. I've cut the crew and I've brought my trusty partner along in the winner of the 2021 series to help you dissect this carnage. The coach of the Villi Army, Timmy Moody. How are you, Timmy?
Yeah, good. It's rep sort of duties time, so only the elite sort of get more opportunities at this sort of time. So thanks for calling me on. It seems like every sort of bye period this happens. I mean, we sort of got away with it in the round 13, but now there's carnage. A lot of big decisions to be made. A lot of big name players out, and I can't even just say it on the top of my head because there's that many. Firstly, Nathan Cleary on the weekend, injured, hamstring injury. What are your initial thoughts? And I guess Supercoach-wise, Origin-wise, what are you more upset about? And Panthers-wise, as well, because I'm a Panthers fan, so it hits me 3 times. This time of year, probably definitely the Blues, hey. You can deal with Supercoach, you can, use that as an opportunity to find a bit of point of difference, or things can shift in the rankings just by making the right plays in these sorts of situations with good decisions. But for the Blues, geez, it's the biggest whack of all whacks. Initially, Supercoach-wise, when something like this happens, I'm kind of like, yes, I've got $900K to spend. I can spend on whoever I want. But then you think about Origin, and for Nathan Cleary himself, I'm actually a massive fan of his, and I thought going up to Suncorp, it was his chance to finally give it to the Maroons, and for his spot in the side to be under question is just ridiculous in my opinion. And now someone else is going to be given that chance to potentially perform in the Blues jersey. Makes me nervous for him.
And it makes me very nervous for him because clearly he's the best 70 in the game by far, in my opinion.
I imagine that it's always his jersey as long as he's fit and available, and that his form doesn't just go completely down the gurgler, which I think is impossible for someone like Nath. But yeah, in this situation, say they give it to Hines and he really ices it and steps up. What do they do game 3? What do they do next year? But look, I think, next man up mentality doesn't necessarily mean you've kept or taken the jersey, so we'll see what happens. I think we're in a nice position with the Blues, though. So Nathan Cleary, if Hines comes in and kills it, Hines can play 5'8". Yeah.
If Reynolds comes in and kills it, he's a bit old, so looking towards the future.
Get out to the pastures. Yeah.
Reynolds for Cleary is probably the best thing for Cleary. Cleary will be hoping that Reynolds gets named. But then there's Mitch Moses, who, Supercoach-wise, this could undo a lot of Supercoaches. And Nathan Cleary's injured this week. Mitch Moses is the most traded in player this week. We've got into some Supercoach chat real early here. But that means he could potentially be named after everyone's already traded him in, and then everyone goes without him for next week. I think the question here, Supercoach-wise, is there another good enough replacement besides Nico Hines? There's not that much quality there, in my opinion.
I think if you, fossil around and rummage, you might find little bits of gold, like you're out at Hill End back in the days, mining for some gold. But, I got SJ. I don't think he's a slam dunk. The week before he scored me a 39. He scored nicely last week, 124 with 2 tries. he's a bit of an option there. He's playing some pretty good footy, and the Waratahs are as well.
The Waratahs.
Sorry,
Up the
Warriors.
Waz.
Yeah, that's what it is. The
Waz,
Waz.
the
Waz.
Waz.
Yeah.
I like Let's Go on Warriors better. I think that's...
I don't know what that... I know it's from the sign, but I wonder if that was originally a mistake.
It must have been. I don't know. Or maybe...
How you get that wrong, though?
I'm pretty sure it must be their way of saying things or something.
Nah, they're not that different from us. Yeah, so... I don't know, man.
Yeah, we'll get into the replacements anyway, Supercoach-wise, very shortly. But firstly, as you can tell, we're in DM Podcast Studios again. Picklebet, we are not in their studio for at least 2 months now.
They're on tour.
They're on tour. So Picklebet are on tour at the moment. We're still partnered with them. We're very happy to be partnered with them and very, very happy. We had a chat with them yesterday. We said to him, we can facilitate for it. You guys, don't stress. Go on tour. Have fun. Fucking go see the Ashes.
You're obviously upset that you didn't get to become a groupie. Like, you were prepared to do anything for the boys on tour.
For that Ashes tour, potentially. But, yeah, they're doing good things. And, like...
You would have been a lot of fun on the bus.
Yeah, and, like, Picklebet was a massive opportunity, and then this came up at the same time. So, we're just... Everything's fallen into place.
Eyes up, Supercoach.
Eyes up, Supercoach.
Eyes up, podcasting.
Not only will we do the Tuesday shows here, there's going to be a lot of other content coming out. So stay tuned for that. We have a lot of things in the works. But mid-season drinks, July 22nd or 21st. July 22nd, round 21, 3 o'clock at Panthers Sports Bar. It's getting close. It's about a month and a bit away. But it's just going to be, I guess, a casual meetup. Watch the footy in the afternoon. Just thought I'd mention on the podcast because I got a few messages after we first announced it. So we got the Whisperer coming, and Adrianosaurus Rex has confirmed he's going to come, but whether that actually happens because he lives in Brisbane, I won't hold it against him if he doesn't come.
I could see him making it happen.
He will. He's down at Croker's 300th this week, so we're going to go see a game with him next week, but he decided he's going to come down for Croker's 300th as a Raiders fan. It's a no-brainer. No-brainer. The biggest Supercoach issues heading the headlines is the Nathan Cleary injury. We've got to talk about the replacements. Mitch Moses is the first on top of the table. I've got him on my side at the moment. This Nathan Cleary injury, I'm not very happy about as a Mitch Moses owner. People are going to get him in anyway. He's got a nice draw playing the Bulldogs this week who leak points. They score points themselves, but they do leak points. I think he's going to score well this week, but I'm a bit concerned that, one, he gets picked for Origin, and two, if he doesn't get picked for Origin, he's not a pod anymore.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I've got SJ2, and I've noticed there's people picking him up, and I'm kind of not liking it. It was nice having that little bit of a pod in that position over this period. Had you told me a couple of weeks ago that I would not have Hines and Nico in my side, when I've been like, I'm not selling them, they're staying in my side all year, not moving them, I'll deal with it over the buys, and then now look, we're selling both of them, which is crazy. The other options are a little few and far between, like Jerome Hughes. He's got a little bit of pedigree for Supercoach. We haven't seen it yet, but these good players, surely they're not just going to have a complete plateau of a year. So maybe this is where he does start to change gears.
And usually he does come good at this time of the season.
He's $200K less than a Mitch Moses, and about 150K less than SJ, I think, even. Or maybe only 50K less.
Yeah, I think the thing that puts me off about Jerome Hughes is, one, he's not a goal kicker, and in the half-back area, you kind of get that massive ceiling because a lot of them are goal kickers. His draw, the Sharks this week, which the Sharks haven't been like the rock-solid defense, but I don't know what's going to happen there. The Tigers in round 16, Melbourne will be without their Origin players, and Tigers, they've got Appy, I guess. Yeah. And then Manly round 17, quite nice. Round 18, Penrith. Round 20, Roosters. And then their draw does kind of ease up a bit, but that's right at the point where you're probably going to want to shift him back to a Hines or a Cleary.
Good bad.
I don't love him.
Yeah. He doesn't feel like the guy that's going to help you fly up.
But we need to have someone in this position. Honestly, in my opinion, Moses is 100% the guy. I would wait 1 week.
Yeah.
You don't need to sell Cleary this week.
My real gut vibe thinks it's going to be Nico at
Yeah.
7 and just Jerome at 6. I don't think they want to change too much. You know,
Yeah.
all this chat about
Combinations.
go the whole
yeah.
Like I like the chat when people started to go, okay, hold on, well you got Latrell there, you could have Cody and Adam Reynolds, and you could have bloody the killer in the side as well. Yeah, I was starting to go, this is starting to look like a pretty good side, you know, but then you've got that other mix of the new guys and the old guys that have just come in. It's a weird vibe. As I was saying before, it'd be weird, only just like last week, they're all looking at each other in the eyes going, yeah, I've got your back. Let's go out there and get this done. You know, fast forward a couple of weeks, and there's only like 4 or 5 of them left in there that they're staring at each other going, where'd they all go?
Yeah.
So that'd be a weird vibe.
I think he will be reluctant to make changes, but at the same time, some changes need to happen. Like, I don't think TPJ is going to be there, in my opinion.
I don't really think he did what we thought. I kind of want him to rip and tear and kind of cause a bit of havoc, maybe do something naughty, even get sent off for 10 early. I know it sounds crazy, but
he didn't do that.
Yeah.
And like the good parts of his game besides that are the offloads and stuff. And
he didn't play terribly.
One of his offloads led to a try, which did he put away the offload? I don't know, but I think we're better off starting with Paulo and having someone like Spencer Linu come off the bench for New South Wales, which
like that.
I guess, mass changes are going to have to happen for round 2. And honestly, in my opinion, the side that gets picked minus Cleary is probably the side that should have happened in game 1, but Freddie just tried to be too cute, which I'm not happy with Freddie. Not happy with Freddie as a Blues supporter, but Jerome Hughes, Mitch Moses. I think if you sold Nico Hines, I'd be holding Cleary this week and trading in Nico Hines for round 18. And
that's
potentially
the Dragons matchup.
That's the Dragons matchup.
Then they've got to buy the week after.
They've got the bye the week after Origin. That they do play 19, but I don't think they play 20. I just think get Nico back into your side, because when he can play, these guys with their ceilings are the type of players you want to have in your side. And like at halfback, there's not a lot.
I reckon it's a bit ballsy, but a part of me just thinks that will they go with Mitch Moses has been playing all right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But had an opportunity which denied us last year. He doesn't really fit in with the rest of the combination sort of chat of any sort of way as well. So even if you went like with combination wise, he's not really in that chat, but then is he the next best at the spot? Maybe not. I think probably Nico, you've got to say he would be. So then it's a matter of, do they change the 6? I can't imagine they would play Moses and Nico and then move Nico to 6 and Moses at half. They could do it. But
I can't imagine them playing Reynolds and Luai either.
No.
And I think Cody Walker's a good chance of getting picked regardless.
I wouldn't mind it, hey. Like, I'm not the biggest Cody Walker fan, but the form he's in, I think,
apparently he was very close before the game 1. And I'm happy because he... I feel like his Origin performances, I think he had one in the past and it wasn't very good.
I feel like we've got more threat with Nico sort of just does a lot of stuff over there on the right, chimes in a little bit with Cody, but then lets Cody take care of the Bunnies sort of dominated left side.
Yep.
I like that more than having A-Ray there as well. Yeah, A-Ray's got a pretty good kicking game and stuff and game management, but I think this the flair and unknown of Hines, what he could bring, could be
I actually wouldn't mind if Turbo doesn't play Crichton and To'o on the right and Latrell and Adokar on the left with Cody. I think that... Anyway, we're talking too much NRL here.
Oh, well, it could affect so much for Supercoach as well.
It really does. I think we've got to wait till... I assume the team is named after the Monday game because it won't be it won't be named on Sunday or Monday morning. So if you don't realise, Parramatta are playing the Bulldogs on Monday afternoon at 4 o'clock. I still have Isaiah Katoa. A lot of people do. I think if you're going to use the clearing money elsewhere, put Isaiah Katoa in there.
I just had a revelational idea. So, can't do it though. Okay, yeah, it would have been so great. I was just thinking if they did still name the team Monday morning early before the Parramatta game, just because they stuck to the time slot, then you could sell Nath to Moses, but Nath's already just played the night before, which is so you can't do that. You'd need that foresight.
Or you know you're going to sell him anyway. Sell him to a Moses. If Moses get named, go to Burton.
That's not a bad little trick move.
Because
you definitely want to have an extra half this week.
I really like Burton.
Yeah.
Goal kicking.
He's very good chance to make the extent to
Yeah, that's the only problem. He played 18th man.
Yeah, and
last Origin.
Even,
so
maybe even.
But if that's the case where the Origin teams are named on Monday morning, you can just stick with Moses, or you could. If you can make it happen, get like a Carl Olawapu in or someone available at 5'8". I don't know. It's a pretty tricky one. Who's got the bye this week? The Cowboys. Tom Dearden's usually 18th man. So we're in such a tricky situation. But, I think that's... Luke Brooks has won. 27 runs on the weekend. Over 200 metres run. Supercoach-wise... He's over 600K. I don't know how serious you can really take
the
this
price
suggestion.
I couldn't do it.
613K coming off. Here's his last few scores. 65, 70, 50, 103, 42. And then he has a draw of Gold Coast, Melbourne, Cowboys, Sharks, Newcastle. So over this period, it is a little bit tricky here and there, but...
I like that they're playing some good attacking footy. I like that he's running more. That's really going to help his super coach and his scoring in general. I couldn't do that.
Yeah, I couldn't either. Yeah, well, Origin players who haven't been named this week, I usually go into it with team lists, but it is a hot topic. Dave Fifita, 900K. Came off the bench... for half of the game, 32 minutes to be exact, for 16 points. It did cross my mind to sell, but I don't think any of us could have predicted that this was going to happen.
Yeah, when they named him on the bench, it was kind of frustrating. I was like, well, I hope we can still get me 50.
He'll play 50 minutes, like
or
50.
even if he plays 40, he'll probably still get 50.
Yeah.
So that was the glass half full thinking I think we all sort of had. But yeah, it's a bit of a thing. And now with not being named this week, I mean, maybe you could sell. But I think the thing what we were talking earlier today, if you just hold him, it doesn't matter how much he drops in price. So but the other thing is though that we've got this little bit of a doubt. Like, what if he just sort of falls off a little bit over the Origin period? What if his minutes are quite reduced? They ease him back. The thing is, they're not really in a position to do that, the Titans. So you'd think that they'd want to...
Well,
but they're showing that they're doing it.
They did on the weekend, played him 32 minutes. Maybe it's because, we're playing Souths. Like, it's going to be a big effort if we do win.
Yeah.
I know that's pretty bad attitude, but at the end of the day, they're better off having Dave Fifita for the rest of the season rather than pushing him this week, next week. Like, we knew Dave Fifita was coming off... going to have 3 games in 8 days because they play Thursday as well. So it's no surprise that he's not playing on Thursday. But the 900K price tag for a second rower, he's been phenomenal to start the year. And there is a chance he drops off. 900K you can spend on the most expensive player in the game right now.
He will drop a bit of cash too, so we won't be as hard to get back.
Yeah.
You'd imagine. Yeah, unless he just comes back and keeps going ton.
But over this period, he's going to lose cash. Like, I feel like they're going to be reluctant to play minutes until at least round 21.
By round 21, it could be all done and dusted for the Titans. That only gives them, an extra 7-8 weeks of footy or whatever, and they might be in the case where they've got to win every single one to make the bottom of the 8. Who knows? It's a close competition, so it's probably a bit far-fetched, but they're not winning enough games on the trot to sort of give me the confidence that they'll be able to sort of...
Agree. But say you do sell him, what replacements are there? I feel like if you sell him in second row, a lot of people do have duels where they can get a center wing, can get a second row, front row. There's nothing absolutely screaming out to me at the moment. I feel like looking at the matchups this weekend, I don't know who to captain because I'm just like, there's no big ceiling players.
Yeah. I don't mind the captain options this week. I think like Cody Walker as a VC looks quite nice, and we'll get to captains later, but I think there's definitely some captain options there. As for who I go to for feeder for, like the chat around Bateman and Isaiah Papali'i, I kind of wasn't huge in the camps of that. I could kind of see it at the prices. Like, there's some reason to be looking at them, and especially knowing what they can do. There was just a sort of question marks of, will they be able to sort of play as well as, can Bateman play as well as he did,
for Canberra.
And the same said for Papali'i at Para. But, yeah, look, I think they're both really good options. Kolomatangi, if he doesn't make Origins, but you wouldn't want to run on that one this week either because he could get picked up.
Exactly, yeah.
The thing about the two Tigers guys are one's English and one's a Kiwi, so you don't have to worry. You can pick them and you don't have to stress about selections.
Bateman was a big purchase last week. Mikey got on, and I was actually pretty happy with his scoring until he went over late. And I think that that Friday night game just stung me so hard. Papali'i scored 58 points compared to Bateman's 102, and now they're 100k difference when last week they were pretty much the same price. So
it's annoying.
So Papali'i is 560 and Bateman is 660. So I think if you're going one of the two, Papali'i is probably the guy, but I don't think Papali'i has the ceiling that he did when he was at Para. I don't think he's because the last 2 seasons he would always score tries. Mitchell Moses would give him tries. I don't think he's going to get that with Luke Brooks.
Yeah, and on the back of just fast play, the balls that Para would have, and then just a quick boom, boom, crash happened before they even knew what was going on. He's over. Haven't sort of seen that moment where he's going to have that this year. Bateman's so unorthodox that he can just sort of go over here and then he's over there, and he's done some crazy things. He's just put someone through a hole and they've made a line break. He's backed up and he's scored. Yeah. So he's a weird footy player, and he just seems like a fun guy to have too. He's
definitely warming into the season too. I like him as an option. It just sucks that he's so expensive now, 660. I mean, if you're selling for feeder, that's still 250k. Like that's a lot of money to play with.
I don't mind the price. I don't think it's that bad, considering we've had guys in the second row that are around that sort of 550ish mark that we've been happy enough with, like a Preston, Hosking, Hopgood, all those sorts of players that have sort of lingered around that price. He's just that little bit more, and he's fairly consistent. The scores look fairly reliable.
Speaking of players from the Tigers, we have to talk about him.
Yeah.
Jareem Buller, 570,000, negative 56 break even still. I feel like I've asked this question every single week, and the answer is still, maybe. Is he still a buy?
Yeah. I hate this, man. Okay, so this reminds me of Papali'i two years
when
ago,
you didn't
you
jump
just
on
had a
straight
price
away.
and you just kept doing it, and you're like, do I do it? Do I just get him? I have to get him now. Look, I was so close to getting him last week. I was, him and Meaney were the two trades I was going to bring in, and I ended up sort of going off Buller and going to Junior Tupu just because I ended up watching that game back, that 66 to 18 scoreline, and they were all great, but Junior Tupu just really caught my eye in that game, and I was like, I think I might just go him. I really like the way he plays footy, and I think he's a good option. He was only 20k more, and he was way more of a pod, but...
Do you think if the ownership was flipped, you would have gone Buller?
Probably. I think I was trying to go for the pod play a little bit. Also, the factor was the locking in him at that fullback spot for a bit, and I was still kind of like the idea. I can't pick one because none of them seem like slam dunk, but of a fullback over this period, like a Kennedy, a Dylan Edwards,
Gutho.
someone like that. Yeah, Gutho even. So kind of want to keep that available. I'm thinking maybe Gutho, hey.
I think so too. If Moses is picked in Origin, he's in my side for sure.
Yeah.
I think when Moses is out, he takes the attacking reins. Dylan Brown looks set to be out. Guess we won't speculate, but I don't know what's going to go on there, but he's named. We don't know what's going to happen there, but
we're not sort of very smart with the law and that.
I know.
There's probably one for Wilfred tomorrow night when I chat to him. I'm sure he'll have some comments on it. But
I don't know what's going to go on there. So Gutho in round 16 is very appealing. I think if you haven't jumped on Buller, negative 56 break even. The fact that he's going to make so much money really stings, but you've really got to hold him till round 20 probably.
Yeah.
And he could lose a bit of cash by then. He won't lose heaps of cash. I think you've probably missed the boat points-wise. If you're getting him for cash, go for it. But if you're at the point where you need to make up points, everyone has their fullback spot locked up
30% owned now.
with Buller. Go the pod route, get Kennedy and Dylan Edwards, or Kennedy and Clint Gutherson, because I feel like if you do that and have both of your fullback positions taken up, that's 30% of super coaches can't get that other person, so that's a definite pod for yourself.
It's a really tough one because he seems to be scoring the points kind of without too much stress.
Yeah.
Like, I remember, like, this is the hundreds he's scoring. I feel like when Reece Walsh was scoring tons, he was like, whoa.
Doing a lot,
so much.
yeah.
So the fact he's getting it with a little, like, he's still, like, got those line breaks, that little speed, he's got it's crazy. He just the way he just sort of looms and then just sits on someone's hip and then just gets that little line break and stuff like that. And he's just, quick with that try, just a cheeky little try shouldn't have got where Kyle Felt didn't clean her up. But, I think he it just depends on the side, like what your plans are. I don't think he's like, a must-have by any means.
Yeah.
I think it would be really hard for this kid to keep scoring this well. It'd just be like outrageous.
He looks good enough to do it, though. Like, don't get me wrong. He passes the eye test. He kind of reminds me of Latrell Mitchell a little bit.
Yeah.
Just the lankiness, the silky ball playing. There's a lot to like about him, but I think with these ones, you either bite the bullet and swallow your pride, or you can put up elsewhere. For example, start of the season, me with Reece Walsh. I didn't jump on straight away. I was keen on him, but I didn't jump on straight away, and I feel like I missed too many good scores from him. So I went Latrell Mitchell instead.
He started trumping
250 scores in a row. And then I went to Tedesco. Tedesco's turned up 2 weeks in a row now too. So I think that the points in the long run, when you look at it, if you go someone else, it's going to even out. And who knows, you could end up being on top because everyone's going to want to jump on this guy that you've got. So I think with Buller, just decide whether you're chasing the cash.
He's so big now. Like, it's bigger than it was last week.
I know, it's ridiculous, isn't it? Coming off 200s though, so... Next week, it still kind of will be low. He'll make, it looks like he'll make about 80K.
It's going to be like 750K, bro, I can imagine. Like, that's just ridiculous.
It sucks. It sucks so bad. Buy players that we are looking at targeting. So there's a buy next week, obviously, for a lot of teams. I just wanted to just talk about a few names.
Yeah.
Wiramu Greg, 392,000. Negative 12 break even. Went over for a try in their round 13 bye. It looks like his minutes are coming back. But just as I say that, I have a thought.
RCG's back.
Yeah, RCG is back. No, this week he was named.
Right.
So put a line through that. But his minutes were coming up and he will play big minutes next week. So if you're looking for someone at that price in the front row, maybe he's a goer. Have you got anyone that you kind of want to talk about?
I guess for me, it's the fullbacks. I guess is the big contentious point. I think that's where a lot of ranks can be sort of made up there. getting that one right, as well as the halfback and how we deal with the Cleary thing, I guess, as well. It's really tough. Like, I don't know whether I want to just keep it. There's some other guys that are impressive that have got the duels, like Izako I've got there. Ruben Garrick's got that duel. I sold him recently, unfortunately. Don't really like that sell, but we'll see how it goes. Nick Meaney even. Like, Nick Meaney's scoring pretty well.
He's in a lot of
He's
attack.
got the duel as well, so... And then you don't have to lock. You can sort of move it around a bit still. But I do really think I like the idea of Gutho and Kennedy. Those two are the ones that I'm like, ooh, good sides. Have a bit of pizzazz about them. Gutho, when he just wants to, rip and tear and be involved in everything and close to the line. It's like a little mini turbo sometimes, wanting to get his hands on it.
Yeah.
And... But then Will Kennedy, just with that sort of floating speed out the back of like a good Sharks side's also very tempting. They feel like Kennedy could have potential more upside in my mind, but I feel like he could also have the lower...
He has a low floor, he does. I owned him last year when he came off two negative... Was it 2 negative scores?
Yeah,
or like,
yeah.
Yeah, and he was like 400k. He was good, but he gets a lot of try assists because he's always that sweeping guy, and he's been really good this season, but I feel like you see his scores this year. They're really good scores, but he's scoring 2 or 3 tries to do that.
Yeah.
Plays Melbourne this week, so I wouldn't be keen on it this week.
Gutho will kick goals too, right, if Moses
is out, yeah.
Up.
So that's why I like Gutho as well.
So wait and see on that one, I guess.
Edwards?
Yeah, I do like him. I sort of had him out of my mind because he was 800k last week. I thought, that's just too much for Dylan Edwards. Like, he's the most like sort of meat and potatoes fullback. He does a lot of work, but those big ones are sort of very few and far between. I love him as a player, but for Supercoach, not as much. Even though he's consistent for 60s, 70s, which you'll take in any other position, but fullback, you kind of want to be trying to get those hundreds wherever you can.
He scored 40 last week.
Yeah, so he's dropped a bit.
Didn't do much, 740k.
Has he got any tons this year? He's got one?
He's got 163 in round 6 and 122 in round 10. So he does have them big scores, but mind you, that 163 was 4 tries.
Yeah, that was a bit of a wower game.
Was it even 5 tries? It was a big game.
I think it was 4.
But like here, 49, 42, 82, 57, 163, 65, 72, 54, 122, 62, 80.
Those 72, 60s, 50s, that 3 chunk of games seems really underwhelming for 740k still. And I'd just be worried I'd be picking that up. If you got 120 and 80 and a 60 or something over that 3-week period, it would be pretty sweet.
And no Cleary. Just a bit worried about the position she's going to get put in. Before we go on to team lists, how'd you go on the weekend? We just got it straight into Cleary chat.
Yeah. I also feel like a really yucky week. I'm surprised it wasn't worse than what it was. I thought I was going to drop quite a fair bit. I scored 1,096, which felt... There were some bad scores out there.
Yeah.
Like some pretty good super coaches had like 800, 900s and stuff, but there was enough big enough ones in there where I'm like, just having the Cleary captain where there was enough people that didn't. And so many just like letdowns. Yeah. So many letdowns. And I'm like...
Fifitas, Harry Grant.
Yeah, I don't have Grant, but I got Cook there at 66. Wasn't that much of a slam dunk. But yeah, there was a lot of commonly owned Supercoach players that didn't do what you wanted. Like even Hosking 39 was very disappointing. I bought Mulatalo. Really wanted to try. I realised the matchup was a bit of a tough one going, this and next week's a bit tough.
I just like the points bet. I got in Mulatalo as well, and I was just like, they haven't been to points bet for a while. Yeah, the wingers can score tries against it. I'm still not worried about him playing at Amy Park this week. I'm pretty happy to have him.
So I've managed to just still work around 900 and something-ish. I think it's 960 or something.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's all right. I'm just starting to get a bit nervous about trades. Every week I'm sort of counting back, how many have I got. And it seems like it's not that much stress stations. I've got 19 before trades, but it does feel a little bit... You've got to start making these trades work and nail them.
We're 12 rounds away from the end.
Yeah. So
and
24 would be awesome.
19 trades. Maybe you have 10 trades over the next 5 weeks. And then that'll leave you with 9 trades from round 20 to 27, which it's pretty good.
It's not too bad, but obviously me playing head-to-head as well, like I really wanted to sort of be a little bit more able to make solid moves, and just with the amount of carnage that's been going on lately, I worry that's going to happen just with injuries and stuff like that.
And where are you ranked?
I said about 960. I'll bring it up exactly.
Well, myself
983.
Myself 1100. It was looking like a shocker week, to be honest, because I just had nothing went my way. I went down to 2/10th, but my saving grace, Captain Teddy, I was really stuck on Sunday. I changed it to Manu with 5 minutes to go.
Ooh.
And I was just like, I saw them warm up, and Manu was on the inside doing actually, no. Manu was on the outside in, like, they were doing a practice play.
Yep.
And Teddy was on the inside, so I'm like, Teddy's going to be on for redemption here from having...
nice eyes up Supercoach there.
Yeah, so I changed it back to Teddy, and first...
Big difference, yeah.
Yeah, big difference.
Saved your week a bit there.
It definitely did save my week. Teddy was a pod as it was, and then having him as a pod captain, missing out on the Bullers, the Batemans, selling Valentine Holmes.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
There's plenty of players I've sold out this year, and they're just brained it the following week. And I've found this year as well, I'll trade someone in, and they'll just underwhelm. But then the next week they go off for me, and I'm like, all right then, yeah.
Like Valentine Holmes won't play for like 5 weeks now. So I think that the trade was definitely there. And looking at some moves this week. But back to team list, Tapane at prop, Horsburgh in at lock. You like this.
It's good for non-Tarpany owners, I think. So I like him being a bit more reduced minutes up.
Has he been, as a non-owner, has he been annoying?
No, he hasn't. I've only been a little bit worried about him the last couple of weeks.
Because he's been scoring just a bit better.
Yeah.
Looked a bit better too.
Yeah. Especially when he's been at lock, for sure. It hasn't been like a stressful, some of the other ones you death ride when you don't have them. But still think he's looking good though.
That's it.
He's on the rise.
I think Horse at lock, Croker's 300th. Should be a good game this week.
Yeah.
Tafare named at 17 again. A lot of people do like Tafare. I think he's exactly what you said he was going to be a couple of weeks ago. He's going to be that guy that you just can't get in because he's just never named to start.
Yeah.
And he ends up braining it at the end of the season. Garrick named at centre. Pretty happy you sold?
Oh, far from happy. It was just I was tossing up between him and Sivo. I wanted to sort of offload one of that big bulk of Knights, Para. Even though they sort of back up, I needed to sort of get myself some numbers for last week. I didn't want to be short. I just thought, I could hold Sivo. I just got a feeling about the Para.
Yeah.
Run a bit better. And I thought, with Garrick, if Turbo's not there, he's not as appealing on the wing, with KO weeks giving the ball. If he's playing fullback, it's not too bad, but I don't think I prefer the combination of Turbo and Garrick there. So I thought I could get away with it for a little bit, and maybe he'll drop a bit for me.
Sav's joke of the week is back this week.
Oh, good. I hope it's I'd sign off on it. Is it something I'd sign off on?
I guess we'll see.
Okay.
What's Dylan Brown's favourite sport?
Ooh. Touch football.
You got it.
Yay.
Obviously, if you said it, you signed off on it.
Yeah, it's fine.
It would have been better if I got to deliver it, though.
Yeah, it's fine.
Actually, touch football.
He's going to cut me out. Oh, what? That was a good one.
Yeah, that was a good one. Samuela Fainu named to start on the edge, left edge for Manly. 226,000. Front row forward only. He has a break even of minus 77.
Ooh.
He played, minus 7, not 77.
Oh, okay.
He played 77 minutes last week and 58 minutes the week before, scored 49. I think he's a nice little cheapie at front row to take you into round 16. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think he was a good buy even last
buy round, but
Yeah.
his BE was still up there, so it was kind of you could wait.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of like him.
This time of year, I guess if you're doing it to fund something else, maybe. But with the guys that we're looking to probably sell at this point, you probably don't need to downgrade.
It's true.
Like if we're selling a Cleary or people who want to sell for Fifita over this period as well, they're big money, so it might allow us to get like 2 better prospects.
Yep.
I think the guy's going to probably play pretty decent enough minutes there and has that spot for a while at least. For at least maybe another 4 or 5 weeks even.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's tough, man. Like, I just with the limited trades, I reckon with the amount of cheapies we start bringing in are limited unless that's your strategy to free up cash.
Well, I wanted to start getting rid of some dead wood in my side, and Ben Murdoch-Masila he wasn't even on top of the list, which is pretty daunting for my side, but he's named it starting lock this week, so I can live with that. If he was named at second row, though, I'd 100% be getting rid of a Burbo or I have Tom Eisenhuth in my side. I don't know how that happened, but Ray Stone named at lock. He's made his way up to 386,000. He's played 60 minutes the last 2 weeks with a break-even of 3, and he scored 60 points in the last 2 weeks. It's a shame the Dolphins don't play in the second buy round, because I probably would have considered him just a little bit more than I have, but just a tick under 400,000, I don't think you would go there. The Rabbitohs have no Latrell and no Cam Murray, which I don't know if that hurts Cody Walker and Alex Johnston if you are an owner, but they kind of did it without him last week, so probably not an issue. As I said before, Dylan Brown named and Dave Fifita out. That's the big team news of the week. Is there anything from team lists that you've taken away that you find just a little bit interesting?
Not particularly interesting. I'm just looking at the Bunnies matchup against South. I think that's a great matchup for against the Dragons, I should say. It's a great matchup for Cody Walker, and the fact that the others are out, I've got Graham named here on my list. So
who?
Graham
Campbell.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's playing.
Okay, I thought you said he wasn't.
No,
Okay.
Cam Murray.
Oh, Cam Murray. Okay, yeah, look, I don't reckon that hinders Walker too much. I mean, this sort of matchup stream, I really like him as a VCLC this week for sure.
He's been
with the audition for Origin, big time.
It's a massive audition thing this week.
Yeah, I mean,
you got Moses, you got Hines.
Yeah.
If I had Hines against Melbourne, it's very tough because they haven't put on enough points against top 8 sides. But
yeah, he's an old club too, so you might imagine the boys being good enough to sort of just let him sort of
he's the line
go
break.
easy on him,
He's the line break.
make him kill it, give him a leg up. But I think they're all great options. Melbourne had bloody 44 put on them by the Cowboys last week, so they'll want to improve on that. But I still think the Sharks and those boys will be able to put on a fair few points still.
One massive team list change as well. Tom Trbojevic cleared to play. He's playing this week, which is very annoying. Very, very annoying.
Those of us that have sold him, yeah.
I sold him last week with a -1 break even, so playing the Dolphins at home this week, it is slightly annoying.
Yeah.
But what can you do? A lot of people don't have him now anyway.
Yeah, he's not very commonly owned, is he? I wouldn't be too stressed about it. I think it's going to be a good opportunity for him to, make sure he cements a spot down. But I feel like the game before round 13, like round 12, I think that was more his opportunity.
Yeah.
He's already proved it now, so it's just a matter of whether he's fit to go. So
that's it.
Yeah, so that factor doesn't scare me as much. He's not trying to win his jersey.
All right, guys, we put up a questions post on Instagram and Facebook about an hour and a half ago, but awkwardly, no questions.
Oh, okay. I thought you just didn't press post.
No questions. Usually we have heaps at this time, but obviously a lot of people don't unaware that like on the socials, like because we haven't been consistent with the podcast and we usually do it live.
Like a pop-up show. Just pop up.
Yeah, it's kind of like a pop-up. So have a look out for the questions post every week on our social media about 3 o'clock, maybe hopefully a little bit before most weeks. If not, we will answer questions when this is premiering live, which will be at 8:30 every Tuesday night from now. It is a bit of a late time. I apologize, but it's the best we can do with the resources we have at the moment. And, yeah.
All right. Do you want to chat trades?
Yeah, we will chat trades, but first of all, Picklebet now have same-game multis. What a game changer. I think Picklebet for a long time have known that the same-game multis is something they need to just elevate their platform, and they've done it. They've worked extremely hard to get there, and I think now they're no doubt one of the better bookies in the game now that they have it. So make sure to head over to Picklebet, and when you are heading over, use the code TURBO when signing up. Best bet this week off the top of the head. I'm going to go all the Origin people. Contenders. So let's go Cody Walker.
Yeah.
Adam Reynolds.
Yeah.
Nico Hines.
Yeah.
Mitchell Moses.
Yeah.
And Jerome Luai to all score tries.
Oh, that's a big one.
It's a big one.
Yeah, to all score tries.
Or should it just be the halfbacks?
I was going to say it'd be more realistic to have them like want to just brain the whole game. It might not be through tries, but like, is this for a bet?
Yeah.
Well, it's outlandish. You'd only want to chuck $5 or $1 on it. Bet responsibly.
Yeah, bet gambling responsibly, of course.
But that's fun. That's fun.
It's a fun one. I think we'll do it.
Yeah.
Or is it very Mikey vibes?
Oh, let's not bag out Mikey. I mean, look, the bloke's almost in the top 1,000, so we're going to start going a little bit easy on him.
You're going easy on him because
he's probably going to overtake me soon and start being out to get me. So
he's on your tail, so you're like, oh, geez, I better not bag him too much because he's going to give it to me.
I'm not worried at all. Look, I think it's out there. Just the one that seems like a really tough one, he'll probably be the only one that does score, is Adam Reynolds. You know what I mean? I'm like, I think that's hard. No, I'm saying I don't think it'll happen. But now that I'm saying I don't think it'll happen, he'll probably end
against Newcastle.
Yeah, it's just what sort of tries does he score? You know, sort of
backing up.
Yeah.
And Reece Walsh is that guy now. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll just go the halfbacks. No, we'll go I'll think about it.
What about all of their teams to win?
Yep.
Because that's more realistic, right?
Yeah.
That's conservative. Yeah.
Let's go. That's it.
Woo.
And that could be our joint best bet. Let's do it.
Yeah, I like that.
Very good. Trades this week. Timmy, what are you looking at?
So, trades, it's a really tough one. Probably the toughest for a long time. Just the what ifs, and I'd love to be able to sell Cleary this week to probably Moses. I think he's the preferred one for me. But yeah, the chat we've been having, I think you need to wait a week just in case he does get picked. It'd be such a hit to have to just hold him there for no reason, and you're not going to be able to use him over the period. Dill Brown, I think that looks like my vibe is he's probably going to get to play.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not saying that I think that whatever's going on, I don't know too much about it. But
I feel like it is innocent until proven guilty. It doesn't sound good, but we don't know what happened. Like, if the NRL are going to let him play, then obviously they know enough to...
I think legally, if he can play, then he will. You know, so I think that as much as we said we don't know much about this, I think that if he's been named, I think it would take for the NRL to...
No, so the NRL have allowed them to name him.
Okay.
But they're still just having a decision to be made. So
okay, yeah.
So it's a bit awkward.
So I'll probably have to just sort of hold there and maybe make some moves around that. I was really thinking about selling Katoa, but now not Katoa, sorry, Hosking, but 490K, that's a hold
It's
for me
awkward,
now.
Yeah.
If it was 550, 570, I'd probably move him on. If I can field enough of a 17, which it looks like I probably can, maybe I just don't make any trades this week.
I need to make 2 trades this week because based on what I have,
You're going to be short otherwise.
I'll have 14 players at best. So
Yeah.
I've kind of got to do it, and then I can save trades next week if need be, which I probably won't. But then I'll be right for round 19, so I won't be as panicky there. But my initial trades are Cleary to Meany via Schuster, Katoa. I really want to get rid of Katoa. I really want to get rid of these duds in my side. So I feel like my next trade someone has to pop out at me. And I feel like a Burbo or an Eisenhuth has to go. Because I feel like at the end of the season, these players are going to come back to hurt me. I need to create cash flow in them areas where they're just nothing's happening. I think this is important in your side. You can't just sideways trade all the time. Like I haven't been sideways trading, but I haven't been prioritizing good cheapies.
Yeah,
so,
I've been heaps sideways trading.
Yeah, so like Billy Smith, I didn't jump on him, which it's fine. I feel like you can miss these cheapies.
It's paid off. Yeah.
I've gotten a lot of them, but I've created my cash from going guns at the top price to people on the way up and making money there.
Yeah.
And I think while there's not much going on there at the moment, I'm selling Cleary to Meany by making cash there. I can't rely on this to end the season because I'm going to be at a point where it's an awkward week like last week.
Yeah.
And I had 14 players. Could have easily had 16 because I didn't have many para Newcastle or Manly players. It could have easily been 16. I could have had a bigger pool to choose from. The pool I did have to choose from, I played Tyrell Sloan, which for once I was impressed with how he went.
Score, yeah.
I definitely take it, and he's a happy hold just for now for me. And I'll see how he goes. But I think with all these Deadwood players, Tom Eisenhuth, Ben Trebojevic, Isaiah Katoa, slowest ride ever, but he's someone. Can you hold on to him and just hopefully he scores? Like he's 307K now. He's cheapy still.
Yeah, I reckon it's too much of a slow burn to hold on to. You want to get those premium sort of guys in these positions for sure.
You could look at Jack Cogger next week.
Yeah, I flirted with the idea of that because of the price that was at and just the Penrith guy. Like I think I could be wrong, but I've got a weird feeling I might have picked up Sean O'Sullivan last year.
Did you?
I could be.
No, I don't think you did.
Okay, yeah, I may have thought about it.
Maybe.
Yeah, so it doesn't look as good as Sean O'Sullivan, though. I don't.
Nah. Sean O'Sullivan actually. I think I had a dream about him because I saw a photo of him. I didn't have a dream about him. I was stalking Nathan Cleary's Instagram.
Dreaming about
and
being Nathan Cleary's girlfriend.
I saw all the way down the bottom. Him and Sean O'Sullivan, like it was like at a schoolboys carnival or something, and
yeah, cool.
And like, I guess that just proves like the connections that these Penrith boys have with other people. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, so trades are going to be tough for it. It's going to be a little bit of eyes up. I feel like this is going to be a week where I do a panicky trigger figure thing, and yeah, I don't like it. It's making me nervous. I like the idea of Bateman because he's BE's low. If you want to do it, you probably have to do it now before he gets out of reach.
Mm-hmm.
I'd need to then sell. Well, the best way for me to be able to get him would be if we got word on Dylan Brown, who was just stood down for X amount of time.
Yep.
Then I could move Schuster down to 5'8", and then bring in Bateman up at second row, which is kind of cool. I would like that. But I kind of would just like to hold Brown more through this period if that's going to happen for us.
Captains.
Yeah.
What are you thinking this week? You did say you like the captain options, but
yeah, I don't mind it. I don't think there's like a whole different. There's too many forks in the road for people to go. I think it'll be pretty similar by the end of the week. But I like Cody Walker as a VC. I'm up to around 25. Give me a second. I like the captains of Mitch Moses if I was to pull the trigger on him, which I can't see myself doing because it does. If he does really brain it and goes really, really well and does my captaincy score fantastic, maybe he plays himself into a Blues jersey. So that's a bit stressful. But for people who have him, I love that option. Even a Gutho would be nice, I think. I don't have him. The Brisbane game, I could see myself go VC, Walker and Captain Walshy. It's a little bit puntish, Captain Walsh.
I think Walsh is a good captain this week. I like it.
Yeah, it's a bit puntish, but he's got that Origin swagger about him.
I like it.
He's got the pink undies that's been getting a lot of traction on the socials.
I think at the moment it's probably VC Cody Walker, Captain Mitch Moses, but
yeah, that's nice for you. Man.
There's a lot of different avenues you can go. I've seen Valentine Holmes' price is $700K now, sold him for $80K less last week.
Yeah, there's so many.
You get that in a big game. Shemaine Azarko, $800K nearly.
Whew.
How good was that purchase for yourself?
Yeah, it's nice. It's going to be obviously a season-long hold, that one. It's good when you get one of those guys, keep it up when there's a bit of doubts over them. Mm-hmm. He looks great.
He looks good? He does look good. All right, I think that's it. Yeah, cool. Happy super coaching, guys. Don't forget about July 22nd, round 21, Panthers Sports Bar, 3 o'clock. What's the bet Mikey doesn't come?
Mikey could be in
Europe
by
he could
then.
I think he is.
Yeah. But if he doesn't come back for that night and then fly back to Europe the night after, he's a dog.
He is a dog. He is a dog. So don't forget, July 22nd, mark it in your calendars. Send us a message if you're coming. Honestly, I'm expecting nobody to come. But even though I've gotten like a couple of messages from people that are just like follow the Instagram page that they're keen on coming.
Yeah, exciting. But
still, like, just watching footy, like drinking beer.
People like to watch footy and
drink beer.
Yep.
Good luck with your Supercoach this week, guys. And make sure to use the code TURBO when signing up to Picklebet. And we didn't say this, but head to gamblinghelponline.org.au because you can't bet more than you can afford, Timmy.
Yeah, I do that a bit too much sometimes.
You know what to do?
I'm good at, though, going on. I banned myself for a couple of weeks. I'm like, oh.
You know what to do?
Set a deposit limit.
Set a deposit limit.
Yep.
I've actually done that with my multiple bookmakers. My one bookmaker in Picklebet. I've set it for like $25 a week.
That's good. You can't get yourself in any trouble like that.
I can't. I'm an apprentice Sparky, by the way, so, you know, got to save the dollars where you can.
Got kills it, though, on OnlyFans, Sav, so that's where he sort of...
That's it.
Gets into fancy studios and stuff like that.
But, what am I going to say? You can still make a bit of money doing some Picklebet stuff, like punting.
Yeah, cheeky little...
Get a multi up.
Yeah, why not? We don't recommend it doing it professionally.
All right. Actually, you got a good one up the other week, didn't you? Dave Fifita and Elliot Whitehead.
Yeah, I already bragged about that, though.
Did you?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to go now because time to go home.
We're rambling on like a bunch of chatty Cathys.
A bunch of weak-gutted dogs. Cheers for listening, and we'll see you next week. Happy super coaching. Make sure to comment on the YouTubes, subscribe to our YouTubes, and leave a 5-star review on iTunes and Spotify.
We appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm meant to ask it every episode. And
if you feel it's 4-star, give us a 4-star one. But, would appreciate you doing a 5-star.
All right.